And now also jumping on that bandwagon of keeping it, because they've done studies now where they know that it's sugar and vegetable oils and grains that are causing a lot of the autoimmune diseases. I mean, that's probably what most of them are from. It's not because you're sick. There was a guy I was listening to, a paleo podcast. I can't remember the name of it, and he quit doing it. He stopped it. The podcast is still probably up, but he stopped them because I really liked him. But his motto on the thing was basically like, humans are default healthy. By default, you're healthy. And the way, if you look at America now, we're default diseased. Like, you get into your 50s or 40s, you're going to have diabetes. You're going to have, prostate cancer. You're going to lose your libido. You're going to, all the stuff that happens to everybody that you know, we just think that's what happens when you get old. No, it's not. Back before grains, and like they look at primitive man, which was our DNA is still there. That's what we're supposed to do. If you didn't die from childbirth, or you didn't die from violence or being eaten, or a traumatic injury or some disease you caught, and by disease I mean like you died from influenza or something, you probably lived until your 80s or 70s, and you still had dense bones, and you still had all your teeth, and you were healthy, and then you just died because your organs failed because of old age. That was with no doctors, no dentists, nothing. Nowadays, we get in our 30s and 40s, all of a sudden, all this stuff starts happening. And it's not because that's just what happens. It's because you're living, your body can only take living on poison for so long. We're living on poison. That's what and so we're not thriving. That's what all the disease from. It's not because you genetically are sick. Yeah, some people genetically do better with some of the poisons than others, but if you get rid of that poisons, which I'm talking about plants and grains and sugars, and not all plants, and I think some people obviously do better on some stuff than others. But a lot of people get fat, you get diseases, and I know a lot of people that are skinny and look in shape, but then they still have all kinds of intestinal problems and arthritis. I have one family member who does Ironmans and triathlons regularly. Looks like the bill of health, but she's all messed, all kinds of stuff inside, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, arthritis, and it's because, she's just sick. Well, that's terrible. No, it's because, and I'm not a doctor, so, and I say that, but laughing at what doctors say. I've brought stuff up to doctors and they just laugh at you, like, I have asthma because of wheat. It's confirmed. I've done tests, and not tests, but like, if I eat it, if I don't eat it, and I take it out of my diet and all the grains and stuff, I can smell, my asthma goes away. And if I eat it, I need medicine, I need all this stuff. So, but they laugh at you. Like, and do you think your problem is that you just have some genetic thing where you can't breathe and you just need this drug? There was one, I think he said there was a study on rats, and they fed one this like protein healthy diet and the other one like basically like the American diet, and they came up with, the ones were healthy and the other ones, they came up with 70 different illnesses feeding them the bad food cost. And what America does, and what the doctors and medical industry do, instead of saying, that we shouldn't feed them that stuff that causes all these problems, they focus on, let's come up with drugs to treat those 70s problems. And that's what we do. We're not treating the root. And that's part of the other thing I was going to say is Big Pharma and the medical industry has a big hand in this, because if all your problems go away, because, I'm talking mental, physical, energy, everything. If you could get rid of, for a lot of people, most of those problems by just changing your diet, by just eating meat or not eating grains and sugars and processed seed oils, you know how much money, how many billions and trillions of dollars drug companies and the medical industry would lose? So there's a big push by everybody to, like, there's a couple doctors there. Well, there's probably more than that, but there's Sean Baker, I think Noakes out of South Africa. There's a guy out of Australia. They came out, they were pushing the diet, like a low carb or ketogenic diet to cure all these, like arthritis or for physical health and all these things. And their own medical industry went against them. Like one guy was disbarred by his hospital, I think Sean Baker, and then he had an independent panel say he's fine to work. They had like a congressional hearing against the guy in Australia, and he won the case. But they were trying to say he was crazy because he was recommending all this low carb ketogenic stuff, and other guys too. So it's like they're doing it because they've shown that it's proven that this stuff works, and the medical industry and the farm are going against them, trying to like shut them down. So anyway, that's my point is, conventional wisdom says, eat your grains, eat your whole wheat pasta, eat your fruits and vegetables, easy on the meat. Probably shouldn't even eat red meat. It'll kill you. I'm 10 days in, and there's thousands of people doing exactly the opposite of that. All I'm doing is eating lots of red meat. And I'm feeling the best I've felt since I can remember. I'm losing weight. How is that possible? Fat makes you fat. No, it doesn't. Grains, sugars, those are what make you fat. Just a quick thing and like I said, this is for people that don't know this stuff already. When your insulin spikes, which happens if you get glucose in you, which are sugars, which any grains turn to sugar. So basically, if you could eat a whole grain bagel from a biological standpoint in your body, it's the same as a bunch of Skittles. It does the same thing inside your body. Your glucose spikes, and it might do it slower because it's in a different form. The straight sugar will go faster, but your body has to produce a certain amount of insulin to do that, because you can only have so much in your bloodstream, and your body has to get rid of it. So when your insulin kicks in, you can't use that for energy. So it stores it to fat. Your liver converts it to fat. And that's why you're always starving. That's why you can eat a whole bag of potato chips and a thing of spaghetti and you're still hungry, is because your body literally still thinks it's starving, even though you ate a ton of food. It all gets just stored to fat and not used as energy. So you still need that. Your body's still craving it. So it needs more food and more food. And that's why like the dieting with eating low calories and, your chicken breasts and vegetables, you can lose weight that way, but your body goes into starvation mode. And the minute you stop eating that way, it's just going to go right back out to be equilibrium, because your body's like thinks it's starving, and it is, because you're cutting the calories. I'd say, like I said, I might need to start eating breakfast because I'm probably eating too little, even though I'm not hungry. But I just noticed my energy level was a little off today. But you can eat as much fat as you want, and you're not going to gain weight. And same the protein, they say if you eat too much, it can turn to fat, gluconeogenesis. But they still haven't studied people that just eat protein. Some people think that humans might be a little different in that, because there's some people that eat lots of protein and fat, and they're still in ketosis. So I don't know. Anyways, those are my thoughts for now. So yeah, I just wanted to do those so people that first see this, and if they don't know anything about any of this stuff, they have some places to look into and check it out some more, because the science, not what doctors think and the medical industry, the actual scientists, a lot of them, it's been proven, this stuff. This isn't just anecdotal. They've done tests, and there's actually no conclusive tests that show that, cholesterol causes or fat causes all the stuff they're saying it is. Actually, if you really look at the evidence, it doesn't say that. They're cherry picking, or it's a bad test. You know what I mean? And they have they're looking for it in a different. They're not testing people that are eating just meat and cholesterol. It's all combined, when it's combined with all the other shit that actually does cause it. And that's what they say. Cholesterol. They do say, I've heard that cholesterol combined with sugars can make like heart disease, because it glycation of the LDL particles makes them bigger, and then that's what they can't go through usually they go through your bloodstream, and then your liver recycles them. it's too big for the liver, so it just keeps putting them in your bloodstream. And eventually, there's too many of them in there, and then these macrophages, these like white blood cells, come and they get clustered, and that's where plaque can build up. If you have inflammation, which you do if you're eating wheat and sugars and seed oils, that makes for and stress, and everything else makes for stress, and that opens up like little junctions in your arteries, and that's where the stuff can get lodged. But if you're not doing all the other stuff, if you're not doing the sugar and stuff, if you're just eating lots of cholesterol, it's fine. It's not going to get big. It'll go back into your liver. It's not going to get stuck because there's not glycating with the thing. So that's what actually, the inflammation and the sugars sticking to that is what causes that stuff. It's not the actual cholesterol. You need cholesterol. That's what your brain and everything else, your body uses it for everything. All right, a lot there. I'm done. A couple things just to clarify on the one I just did. I believe the Noakes, I said, Tim, I think his name's Tim Noakes. He's from South Africa, not Australia, that they had like the big hearing on to see if he was competent and being crazy, and he won. And also I said gluconeogenesis, when you get too much protein, it turns it into fat. It turns it into glucose. That's why it's called gluconeogenesis. So if you eat too much protein, or not too much protein, just eating protein, like a certain amount you need, and then the rest, your liver can convert it to sugar, basically, to burn. But I don't think they're positive that's what happens with humans. It happens in other animals, but I don't know if that's positive, because there's people that eat lots of protein and like they're not getting fat, So that's just that.